guys, I'm Lila Jardine, and today I'm here with Pierce Sloan. Pierce, you are an incredible vet, and I want to learn a little bit about what got you to where you are now. Can you just tell me a little bit about your upbringing and what made you want to be a vet?
Sure. I'm originally from South Carolina. I grew up with horses, went to college rodeo in Missouri, at Missouri Valley College, and then went to vet school with Mississippi. So I had a full ride to undergrad on academics, and then I had a 50% scholarship to vet school, and then did an internship and a residency, and I'm now a surgeon at ESMS.
That's awesome and such an incredible list of accomplishments you have, Pierce. So, can you tell me what does a typical day in the life look like for you as a vet? And I know this varies because sometimes you're traveling and sometimes you're at your typical vet clinic, but how does this change from day to day for you?
Yeah, right now I'm traveling. I'm at a show in Oklahoma. The ESMS position most days are in Weatherford. A lot of times I'm doing lamenesses either in the clinic or in the field. I mostly do surgeries in the clinic. Some surgeries I'll do in the field. I prefer to do them in the clinic. And then I'll be on the racetrack pretty consistently for the rest of the year. And so some of that is kind of specialty lameness exams, ultrasounds, and second opinions.
Okay, cool. And what do your hours typically look like, and how does this vary when you're on call versus not on call?
So it's supposed to be 8 to 5 Monday through Friday. Very few days are five end at 5 o'clock, but most days typically start around 8. I'm the newest surgeon at ESMS, so I'm on call 50 to 75% of the time, and so I am in the clinic as much as needed. Outside of that, just depending on the amount of emergencies we get. When I'm only on call as a surgeon, it's not as bad. But if I get called in, it means that somebody really needs help, so it doesn't bother me to be there more.
Okay. So when you're not on call as a surgeon, but you're still on call, what do those farm calls look like?
Yeah, the when I'm on call, just primary, it's for anything. So it'll be mares falling out to a simple laceration that anybody would see to tying up to a colic, whether it goes to surgery or not.
Okay, that makes sense. And what do you love the most about your job? If you
I
can't
love,
pick one,
yeah, I
go.
know. I colic surgery. I love colic surgery. You take a horse that is definitely at least in pain, if not going to definitely die, and give them a chance. And so that's the biggest thing is we don't always have a perfect outcome with colic surgery, but you give them an opportunity, you give them a chance to survive, and that's a really cool thing. And having them go on and go back to being performance athletes is really cool.
Yeah, and a lot of the times they do survive colic surgery and go back to their job, right?
Yeah, with really, really aggressive treatment on the front end. So going to surgery sooner, not waiting until it's too late. Outcomes can be really, really good and can be basically be the same horse after surgery.
And what would you say is the hardest thing about your job or the thing you like the least?
I think the hardest part is managing finances for people. A lot of times there's not a lot I can do to reduce the cost, and that is such a personal and complicated thing for a lot of people. And so I do my best to try to minimize costs or at least make people really aware of it. But the majority of the emergencies we're doing are unexpected. So nobody expects us to spend $10,000 on a colic surgery, and that can make people pretty dire situation. And I've been involved in the conversations with a lot of people that are having some real trouble. So that's probably the hardest part.
Yeah, I can imagine that would be pretty awkward. And, when they don't have a choice, then they just have to go through with it anyways, even if they're not in the position for it. So,
Mhm.
yeah, that would be hard. So to get to the point that you're at, what internships did you do or did you not do throughout college?
Yeah. So let's see, I started working for a vet when I was like 13. I was cleaning kennels, was around a vet a lot. And then I worked with a vet while I was in college, in high school and college. And then that helped a lot. Those hours helped a lot to get into vet school. It's pretty hard to get into vet school. And so those hours helped a whole lot. I did basically anytime I had free time, I was spending it with a vet. When I got to vet school, the time I was spending with the vet, I was spending it with a lameness vet and really working to get better about seeing lamenesses and understanding more about how to keep performance horses sound. And so a lot of my vacation over the last 6 to 10 years has been used to shadow people that are really, really good at lamenesses and surgeons that I respect a lot. And so in my internship and residency, I did the same thing where I spent time with surgeons outside of the practice to get more experience.
So, do you think some of those decisions that you made on which vet to go get experience under was almost more crucial than where you went to get your degree and that sort of thing? Or do you think they're of equal importance?
No, absolutely. The people I cold called and sought out, that made the difference. Um, Coming out of vet school, a lot of times you don't really know how to be a good lameness vet. You know how to be a vet, you know a lot, you learn a lot in that process. But what my specific career is, you don't really learn those skills. And so there's a couple surgeons across the country that I've either flown or driven like pretty far distances to spend time with that changed the way that I view horses.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because I feel like lameness wouldn't be something they could teach you thoroughly in school. You're going to have to get that from experience. So that makes a lot of sense, and that's really helpful. If you could give a piece of advice to yourself 10 years ago to help you get to where you are now, what do you think it would be? Like, what would be the most important piece of advice you could give to someone like me who wants to be a vet?
Yeah, I think the advice to myself is to not have to apologize for being intense, to maybe take some time off, but kind of own it. And it used to make me really uncomfortable that I was as driven and intense as I was. I think the biggest thing is, set what your goals are. Really sit with yourself. Really call yourself of what do I actually want, and not just go through the motions of, oh yeah, I think this would be a good fit. Really call yourself on it, and then when you decide, throw yourself at it. Like that's the biggest thing is that first 3 to 5 years of really hustling to understand and get good at something. It makes it where when you get there, you can relax and you get to just enjoy it and be there and have a well-rounded life because you spent that time working hard and really learning it.
That's really awesome advice for all careers, I feel like, whatever I decided to go into. Sorry, I was listening to that. But my next question was, I was going to ask you what steps can I take to better my chances of getting a job in this industry, but I feel like you've already given a lot of examples of that. So I know you have a lot of names behind your name. What all degrees have you gotten, Pierce?
Yeah. So I got a bunch of letters. So I have a bachelor's degree in biology with a minor in chemistry. That was from Missouri Valley College. I have a doctorate of veterinary medicine from Mississippi State. In my residency, my surgical residency, it basically was a free master's. They paid my tuition to do a master's degree. So I took the classes to do a master's degree, and I already had to do a research project anyway. So, I ended up doing an additional research project because of it, basically. But that's how it was originally. The plan was it wouldn't be that much work. But I have a master's degree from Kansas State, and then so that's DVM, MS, and then my surgery specialty boards is DACVS LA. So that's Diplomat of the American College of Veterinary Surgeons, large animal. So that means I'm a large animal surgeon, the DACVS.
Okay. And do you like, are you happy you got all those degrees, or would you ever change it and get in the field sooner?
I wouldn't change it. So the year I matched with my residency, so I did one internship and I got really lucky to get my residency after one internship. I have a lot of friends that have done 4 and 5 internships to try to get a residency to be a surgeon. The year I got my residency, it had a 3% match rate. So 3% of the people applying for residency got one. And I was Kansas State's first pick, and that was amazing. And the residency was tough, and I had somebody asked if you had to do it again, would you? I'm like, no, no. But it was so worth it. And now I get to help horses, and now I get to teach people how to do injections better, or how to do how to simplify things and help people help horses outside of just what I can do.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Um, Well, that was really helpful, and thank you so much for your time. I feel like I learned a lot, and I'm really grateful for you taking the time out of your busy schedule to do this. You can stop the
I know I'm gonna
recording.